let's talk about one of the most underrated superpowers, high agency. So high agency is the ability to take control of your circumstances, to problem solve creatively, and to refuse to be stopped by obstacles. So in other words, it's about refusing to play the victim and instead becoming the architect of your own success. So think about it. Have you ever met someone who just makes things happen? They don't sit around complaining. They don't wait for permission. They move, they adjust, they pivot, and they just find a way no matter what. That is high agency in action. So the numbers don't lie. Research backs this up, what we intuitively know. So high agency people, they tend to be more successful, right? So according to a study published in Psychological Science, individuals with an internal focus of control, it's a fancy term for believing that you shape your own destiny, they tend to earn more, they tend to experience higher job satisfaction, and they report greater well-being. In fact, a National Bureau of Economic Research found that people who demonstrate a strong sense of agency, they earn an average of 10 to 15% more than those who don't. And for why? Because they don't play the victim. They just execute and get things done. So another fascinating study from Stanford's Carol Dweck on growth mindset shows that people who believe that they can develop their abilities rather than seeing them as fixed, they tend to outperform their peers. Sound familiar? That is high agency thinking right there. So let's look at some real world high agency legends. Take Sara Blakely, for instance, the billionaire founder of Spanx. She didn't have any experience in fashion. She had no connections. She had no roadmap. She was basically a fax machine salesperson, but she had high agency. She cold called manufacturers. She hustled her way into Neiman Marcus, and she ultimately turned $5,000 in savings into a global brand. Or if you want to look at Elon Musk, who instead of accepting that rockets were ridiculously expensive, he figured out how to build them cheaper. And now SpaceX is changing space travel forever. Love him or hate him, the guy embodies high agency thinking. So how does someone like you develop high agency? Here's the good news. High agency isn't just something that you're born with. You, yes, you can actually build it like a muscle. Here's how. You want to reframe problems as challenges. So instead of thinking, why is this happening to me? Ask, how can I solve this? So just go to the complete opposite. You're going to want to take extreme ownership. So Jocko Willink, former Navy SEAL, he says it best. No one is coming to save you, right? You have to own your results. So take that from Jocko, and he definitely knows what it takes to be the best. And get creative with solutions. So if one path is blocked, find another. Or as MacGyver would do, find a new path and build it with duct tape. A fourth idea is surround yourself with high agency people. So energy is contagious. Hang out with those action takers, and you'll naturally start thinking like one of them. And finally, act first. Perfect leader. Overthinking totally kills action. High agency people make moves and they adjust on the fly. So at the end of the day, high agency is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's the difference between someone who says, I wish I could, and someone who says, I'm going to figure out how. The world is full of obstacles, but here's the thing. You don't need fewer obstacles. You need more agency. And that, my friend, is a game changer. So what's one thing that you can take action on today, right now, not tomorrow, but today? Because high agency isn't about what you could do, it's about what you will do. So let's go. So if you found this content valuable, please consider sharing, please consider subscribing. We'll see you next time.